Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
What is up, YouTube? It is Ball Python Love and Keys Constructors tonight.
What up?
With a special guest, Pipeline Pythons. If you want to introduce yourself, man, tell us what you have.
My name's Justin. With Pipeline Pythons, mainly deal in ball pythons, a couple recessives, and then I think last time I counted somewhere in the mix of 30 or 40 genes.
Okay.
Mixed with them.
Nice.
And then I got a couple retics for fun. Just as pets.
Oh yeah. Welcome DWR Exotics with CSL. Thank you. But so what do you? First question, I guess. Just curious, because you breed ball pythons. Any clutch? What's up, Iron Dog Reptiles? Any clutcher, and that you already hit, or you're waiting on that you're hoping odds for something? Clutch that you're most waiting for.
I thought they would have went. They started out real fast on follicle growth, and then they kind of slowed down as I was pairing probably about 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay.
I got 3 Holy Grail clutches in the works, with a couple co-doms in it. So I was really hoping that those girls would have went before the end of this year, but they kind of slowed down. They're stopped. They're right at about like 20 and 21. One girl's still at 19 millimeters, so it looks like it'll be in 2022 for me.
Okay.
But I mean, clown pied clutches, I had more than I expected this year. I think I got 3 coming up next by, look at the calendar, by next on the exact date, by the 11th of next month.
Damn, that's nice.
And then I got the next one after that. I'm waiting on her to lay. Those ones 3 will be cut on the 11th, and the one girl, another one is due to lay by the 11th. Okay. So she won't be until mid-February, probably for hatching them by the time 60 day or so.
Okay. What's up, HMP, GP Snakes, and My Animal House? Welcome. Thank you.
What up? Thanks for joining us, fellas.
Hell yeah. And by the way, tonight's got both Keys in the house, so we're going to be having a co-hosting tonight. So once again, if you guys have a question, both of you, don't be, I'm just saying, you can, yeah.
No problem.
Just to let you guys know, this is our very first time co-hosting. So be gentle with us. We're going to do our best.
You're doing great.
What up, Gershon?
So, how many retics do you have?
I have 4. I do have a 1.3. In case anything ever does get dark and they go off the grid, I can do things with them. But I don't really truly plan to breed them. They're more or less enjoyment and then just appreciating the animals. Let's see. I have a Sunfire Lavender Super Golden Child, and then a Lavender Sunfire Motley, just into a purple lavender girl. Well, lavender, purple and white, and then purple Phantom Golden Child.
Damn.
How old is the oldest one you got?
It is a 18, May of 18, May 20th of 18 to be exact.
How big?
She's at, last time I measured her, I'm still under the requirements for the state. She's at about 9 foot.
Damn.
So, and she's thick too. I've had a couple people, like after I bought some of the other ones, they would ask me if I had them or what I had before or what I have currently. I would tell them how old she was and where her size and kind of girth was and that. And they asked me if she had like kind of the super dwarf or any kind of dwarf gene in them. But I think just the golden child itself, I think, is somewhat of a dwarf gene. It's not a super dwarf. But she's relatively small. I've tried upgrading my two biggest girls. They're both 18s. My two oldest ones. And I've tried moving them to the 3x6s. I have them built, ready. One girl got extremely defensive. I don't know if that was just because of the enclosure. They're in 2x4s right now. And all they do is they literally they coil up, but as soon as they went into the 3x6s, one girl got extremely defensive. And since the day I've never been bit, I've never been struck at, I've never been lunged at. I think the oldest that I got one at was at maybe 6 weeks old. So they pretty much
know
me from less than 2 months of age.
Well, the retics
never had a negative interaction with them.
Is it true that the retics get more aggressive when it's breeding season?
They've never been
There
bred.
goes Sean, good looking.
And I'm not sure if, being that the male is in there, usually they say it's the male, though. My one buddy, he breeds them. Usually they say it's the male that tends to become more aggressive once the breeding starts. At least that's what I'm told. I don't know. I've never bred them to see how that turns out.
Feeding females during breeding season should be a sport.
Yeah. He's got it all. Pretty much if I did pair them all, it's probably orange purple snakes. Because, I mean, all of them are so, except for the one going to a lavender and make more with a copy of the white and the full.
Hey, what's up, Moon? And hey, Pike, dude. It's like when you're starting to
Going
talk
on,
for a minute,
Moon?
it kept chopping in and out.
I didn't know if it was just
Yeah,
us.
I don't know. That's trying to run the dual screen. Let me try to jump this.
What's up, Robbie?
Is that
What's up,
any
Moon?
better? Or?
What up, Robbie?
We'll try. Try to say something. We'll see if it works.
Does it have me saying it? Is it choppy anymore?
Not really. No. It's good. It's good. It's a lot better than what it was. So.
I mean, it might be in this room. I'm out in the sticks, man. all I got is
Justin and Chris, thanks for joining.
Wi-Fi card. But
We had the
usually when I
same
jump on
issue
the
the
Wi-Fi
first
card, I
time.
know.
Thankfully, it sorted itself out since then.
Oh yeah. Did we lose you?
At one point, we ended up moving to the rat room.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. It's like
That's why I don't
frozen
know
on
if it's on my end with the.
Sounds all right.
That's good.
Where are you located again?
Northern Ohio.
Northern Ohio. Oh yeah.
Go Buckeyes.
By,
Jesus, here we
yeah,
go.
that's the whole deal. I believe that's what tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Michigan going down.
You gotta go to Ann Arbor. Whew.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Right, HMP? It's all good.
Hey, he's about to lose that bet. Don't worry.
Nah, you got to give him a year's worth of pub.
Yeah, we were all there to hear.
Oh, yeah, 21. He's super confident. As long as we get that dub, I don't care. We can win by a field goal, win by a safety. As long as we get that dub.
Honestly, I honestly believe, not to get off Pike's have been the guest, but I really believe that Cincinnati deserves a shot. I don't. Ohio State lost to Oregon. Oregon lost. I mean, you're playing Michigan. We all know Jim's going to choke. That's what he normally does.
Yep. All right.
I mean,
How you
everybody
doing there,
said-
Justin? You good?
Yeah, can you guys still hear me? Everything coming in?
Yep.
Yeah.
My great internet off my phone. So, what question? Anything? Got anything or questions or?
So, how many clutches per would you say you have a year?
Right now, I'm in. I thought I was gonna have a little bit more with them Dreamsicle girls, and Holy Grail stuff. This year, I'll close out. I believe at 11 or 12 clutches. My last season, I only had 8, so I did a 50% increase, and then basically it's on whatever girls that became ready. I probably have getting close to 100 females, but the last year or two, none of them were all completely ready. So coming up on the 2022, the number should jump drastically. Now, whether I wanted to jump drastically, because I'm not going to lie, even for my work schedule and everything,
That's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work. I do my own rat house. That's a 12 by 24. That's almost 60 something tubs of rats plus ASFs plus mice.
Love it. That's the kind of stress I want. I love it.
Full-time job, and then plus this room, plus right now I spent all day today since about 7 a.m. this morning till about an hour ago working on the new room in the basement. That'll be able to triple my capacity for snakes.
Damn.
So
how many? Here's a question, because I know I asked Keys this when he was a guest. Both of them, Keisha does.
But I'd like to only maybe do 20 or 30 clutches a year, but concentrated clutches.
Yeah.
That way I'm not working every girl, working on certain projects, and for what I'm breeding, I think that's sufficient enough for myself. But what's your question, Dave?
Oh, I was gonna say, how many rats do you would you say you get a month?
Barely enough.
Barely enough, yeah. I mean,
that's why I'd say I started during the summer last year. We're still in this year. This year I started the ASFs. I did an 18 bin rack for ASFs. That was mainly for my animals that I will probably never sell. Individual females or power males that I could probably use for the next 5 or 10 years. And then just off my personal preference, I probably wouldn't sell just because I visually enjoy the animal. So
how long have you been breeding?
Breeding? This is only on for rats or for snakes.
Yeah.
Snakes, this is be my 3rd year. My first year, I never had anything. My second year was last in 20. And then this will be technically my 3rd, but my second successful breeding season.
Yeah. How did that first clutch feel?
The first clutch was a Holy Grail clutch on top of it.
Oh shit!
So but I missed everything on clown. It was a pie to a pie, a visual lavender, and then it was a kind of hope and a prayer on the clown. I didn't get one clown. So as I was going into it, I was like, this is going to be a big clutch. This is going to be a big clutch. First clutch, my first clutch. It was, I believe, 6 eggs. But I mean, like, genetic-wise, I'm never always worried about the size of the clutch because I'm more worried about the power of the pairing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 6 eggs to me is great.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Never worried about that. Now when you get a 12 egg clutch and you get one good one, that's a kick to the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I had one of them this year. That was a big letdown. But I only got one dream. I got one dreamsicle out of it, and the rest were pies.
But besides that feeling,
It's everyone says it and no one lies. It's Christmas.
yes.
You're back to a
feeling
little
ever.
kid. You're back to a little kid.
Yes.
You're shaking, trying to cut it open. You don't want to mess
Yes.
anything up. You don't want to hurt the animal. You don't want to. You don't want to do
Yeah.
anything. You don't want to do anything
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
What's up, Reptile Hunch? I'm still waiting. You guys both had your first clutches. I suck. Still my first clutch. I'm still a virgin on that. It's all good.
It's to tell you, it's
Yeah,
not if, it's
I can't
when.
wait for you to have that feeling. Best feeling ever.
If my son's watching, I'm sorry, but I feel like it's going to be a lot more special. Not in a bad way or like anything.
Oh,
But
I
like,
said it. I said it on wax. Yeah.
That.
Man.
I'm gonna have to interject and say I cannot agree. You know, from my standpoint, having my kids is like number one. But that clutch and seeing how he reacts to it, that's a close second, very close second. But I get how y'all feel because y'all don't give birth, and this is as close as y'all get to it. So I can imagine how amazing it must feel for y'all. So I wouldn't take that away from y'all. If that's how y'all feel, that's how y'all feel. It makes sense.
We go through that long process. That long process.
Well, it's Christmas morning. It's a long process, and that was what for the years that I was building and doing, and that was I didn't even honestly know what that animal was. It was actually ovulating, was actually gravid. I paired it, and I think I quit pairing her for I don't know 2 or 3 months, and so then it was just up out of the blue, and I actually texted somebody. I was like, "What the hell's going on with this? Is this an ovulation, or is this what it is, or what I think it is, or am I just seeing stuff?" And they're like, "Oh, nope, that's ovulation, man. About another 14 to 20 days, you're going to get a 30-day shed, and 55 to 60 days out of that, you're going to have eggs." And that was during the summer, and I had got the incubator, but I really wasn't having any success with having clutches. So I did the igloo with the water and the heater under it and everything raised up for the tubs. I have one of those as a backup. I'll probably tear that system down. It still currently runs. I use a Coca-Cola, big Coca-Cola gas station cooler now. Ripped everything out. I do use radiant heat panels instead of heat tape, like everybody else does. I had a couple extra panels from buddies that had retics and stuff like that and boas. So I use radiant heat panels instead of heat tape. And I run them on the bottom, and I actually have a false wall on the back of the machine to where the natural fan that's on the cooler pulls the air from the top, takes it down the back false wall, and actually forces it over the radiant heat panels. So it's just one big circle going.
Nice.
I've had success with that, and then I just solid perlite and water.
That's what I have ready.
I'm with Reptile Hutch. I love my kids though. I do. All of them.
I love my 2 boys. Like I got their names on, in my family tree on the arm, but
Kids all over.
I think I'm all over my back. I got them on my arms. But I got snake scales. Before I had kids, I had my arm tattooed in snake scales. It's crazy.
It was meant.
My oldest son is 23, and I already had my arm tattooed as a fucking snake.
So how many females do you have in the collection over males?
I think I did this. Someone asked me how many I had total the other day, and I don't. I know I'm over 200 complete total, but that's with holdbacks and everything. I think I was in the low 120s or 130s prior to having clutches and hatchlings. Female wise, 4, 10, 40.
So what's your intake again on this? We were talking about this earlier in private chat.
I think that's blade. I think that has blade in it. I still believe it's pastel because of the burns in the dorsal right there. But I believe that's blade, especially right there, right in the middle on that straighter part between your hands, that burn in the center. Just how the dorsal patterns go. It kind of goes more like a 90s tribal tattoo. That's what they basically, when they start coming out like that. Especially on like the lavenders. I had some lavender super blades out of the last Dreamsicle clutch, and they kind of get them puzzle pieces down the back. They just don't get the banding of the stripes down the sides. But I believe that's blade.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
As soon as you showed that on, I was figuring, what was it? One of the mornings or at night, he was like showing that, and I was watching one of the older videos, and instantly he's like, I got this. Might be that clown, the individual and stuff that you got from. And I was like, even with the het clown, that would have been a big gateway for bringing the blade into the animal. Blade hides a lot in clown. Anyone can testify against me on that. I've got animals that look like absolutely nothing like they have blade in them, and I'm popping out super blades. I got a pied that's carrying blade. Actually, it's my one Dreamsicle girl. It's a pied, double het, lavender, and clown, and she carries blade. Okay. It's not visually, but what I do believe is we did make the blade visual pied. Let's see. Oh, today and tomorrow's feeding day, so as long as I don't get bit.
Oh, well, I do have one rule. Rule.
That's why you're bit on camera.
Please get bit on camera. I will put you on solo for this.
Oh, my lighting's bad. But I believe this is what is. I believe she's either got one heck of an influence, but the way the pattern goes, I believe this is like a blade pied and possibly a high expression. And this was from my first clutch.
Definitely not a single gene pied.
Right? Like if I could, wish I could move the camera. Try to get this. Bear with me. Her head stamp is really. She's not going to cooperate. Got my phone plugged in. Light out. Not ready. I mean, she's got one heck of a head stamp.
Nice.
And the whole pattern's bare. It's almost like piebald of retic. The way her pattern kind of jumps in and out. But that's what I believe. That's just going off a hunch. It's got a lot of Dalmatian spots in back. And it's almost kind of like it's almost kind of got a green hue to it. It's real sandy in color. The edges are really dark. Real spotty. There's not one line on the saddle. A reduced pattern all throughout it. But she was a holdback for sure. So, out of the first clutches, definitely holding that back. So I'm going to breed her out whether I'm gonna like reduce her out to see if I get anything, or I mean I can never remember that she's a 66 het clown and then het lavender and then came out weird looking like that. So I mean it was like an instant, yeah, I'm gonna hold on that. See what comes of it. Is my internet getting choppy? Anything?
No, you're good actually.
What's the biggest girl you got? Ball python.
Either
There's
my
a retake.
lavender girl that just laid recently. Well, she laid I think last month because her eggs are due by the first before New Year's. She usually non-gravid is in the mid 3,000s. Gravid, she goes over 4 now. At least she did this year. This was her second year breeding. She's a 19. Never refused a mule.
19.
Or 19, or let me look. Myra, I'm bad. December of 18. So she's almost a 19.
But still.
December of 18. But and I got her from TGR at Tinley one year. I believe it was like the March of 19.
Do you probe or do you pop?
99% of the time I pop, but if anything's in question, if it doesn't come out clear as day with flagpoles, then
yeah.
If it don't look like a dune runner coming out of there, I will probe. But do you mean like on more of the hatchling side or more of my breeders? Or when I acquire?
When you have your clutch and they had a couple yolks gone and all that.
Yeah, usually I will not probe until I get them at least 150, but I really like to do it in between 200 and 300 grams.
Okay.
One, I don't stress out the animal when it's new, it's young, it's little. A little bit more size to them, it's a little bit easier. They're a little bit more confident mentality-wise as well.
Okay.
But for a majority of the time, I mean, if they come out and there's 2 red rockets, I mean, there's no denying that. So majority of the time, if I do probe them, it is on the females.
Okay.
That just a question to make sure that if they did become available to somebody, I'm not going to say that it's female and then it was just a popping coincidence that it was a male but just didn't pop correctly or had small hemipenes or anything like that. But usually when they pop male, I usually don't double guess them. But I do always double check before I send anything out or hand deliver to somebody.
Oh yeah. I don't trust myself probing. I feel like I'll damage something. That shit scares the shit out of me.
I don't like
She's
to
pretty
do
good
it.
at it.
I like it. I mean, I don't like it. I mean, nobody likes to probe nobody, but I feel comfortable with it now, and I feel comfortable that I'm doing it the right way. I feel comfortable that I know what sex they are after I probe them, but very soon I'm going, well, not very soon. Once we get like 2022 popping, I'm going to start popping. I see everybody else do it. They make it look so easy. They do the little finger thing, little hemipenes pop out or they don't. So I am ready. I'm ready. This is going to be our second season in. It's time for me to be able to boop, female, boop, female, boop. I'm going to say all female. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I'm going to have to watch some more videos. If y'all are like popping connoisseurs, definitely, if y'all have any videos on how to do it, then I would be interested in watching those, because we on YouTube all the time trying to figure out, the best way to do things, how the people do things. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I, for the life of me, couldn't pop when I started. But now, with sausage fingers like these, I couldn't get them. I'm like, I'm gonna break the snake. I'm gonna snap in half. It's gonna be like a Slim Jim. It's gonna look like a '90s Slim Jim commercial. Open them up. But then, I mean, it was just legitimately one day. I was just sitting there practicing, and I got it, And then ever since, it's just
Still
like
that
natural.
BPL.
Now you can just like grab them and you can sex them and pop them just like that.
See, that's where I want to be at. That's awesome. The reptile hutch. All that practice comes in handy, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. He's all
What's
back
your
in the
most
day.
anticipated clutch? Besides the clown pies, I've seen those.
Oh, well, it's the one in December is a clown pie clutch. I got another chance to make, and that girl was an accident. My Super Orange Dream pie, I didn't know it when I bought it from Kabelka, or maybe I overlooked it, or maybe I forgot it over the years. I'm OCD. Usually I write down anything possible, or it was possible this genetic, or possibly had this. It was never on my tub over the years. Apparently she was 50% het, possible clown.
Mm-hmm.
He never proved it out. So it was always just technically a pass. But the belt I called the morning it happened because I had clowns in this clutch. This whole clutch should have just been Orange Dream pies, het clown.
Yeah.
And first one that pipped, that's what it was. Second one I cut open, I'm like, what the hell? It looks like a clown. I'm like, damn it, I got my cards mixed up, or I got something mixed up. The first and the last clutch from that clutch was a month away from each other, before or after. So there's no way, if I cut them way too early, they'd still look like Jurassic Park embryos. If I cut it too late, they're overcooked or they're past due, should be busting out of the egg. I'm like, oh, it looks like clown. Cut open the other one, and I'm like, oh, sweet, I got a Super Orange Dream pie. And I kind of sat there thinking, I'm like, how the hell did I get a Super Orange Dream pie? Well, anyways, I called Kabelka. He looked at the records. I think it was 2 generations back. Technically, the grandfather was possible het clown.
Wow.
Neither of them 2 generations, he said, were proved out. So he said he's sold both of them that side of the genetics. So someone else has got, I think the one I looked it up was an Orange Dream Yellow Belly pied, but it's not labeled het clown. So whoever got that animal, that's also het clown. And whoever got either the grandfather or the sire, the dam or the sire from the grandfather side of that generation got also het clown, and they might not know it.
That's crazy.
So that when I realized it was clown, and I was talking to him on the phone, and I'm like, man, this looks like clown. He's like, oh, let me look at the records. Looks up the VIN. Yeah, she proved out het clown. We just never told you. So that was where kind of the roll the egg. I'm like, wait a minute, that one looks like it's Super Orange Dream. And then I rolled it. It ended up being what I believe it is now. At first, I thought it was Super Orange Dream, and some were and some weren't on the opinion of that one. Some were saying it is Super Orange Dream, some were saying it isn't. So now it is definitely Yellow Belly. Once it was out of the egg, it was definitely Yellow Belly, and it's definitely Orange Dream. But that mom, that Super Orange Dream, is also possibly highly likely Gene X. So what I'm thinking is that might possibly be an ODYB Gene X. That's what I label her as. Just given off the tones, and it's hard to take a picture of her. It's just solid orange. So I mean, I almost got to get like a solid gray or a solid black background to set her on to probably, and then almost sometimes with the tricks, if you ever look, putting something bright in the picture with it can offset the lighting. I learned that from when I did corals with blue lighting and everything, and oranges. Cameras hate oranges. Cameras hate oranges and hate blues.
Single gene Orange Dream. Shit. Well, once they get older, not as babies. Once they get a little older, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any chance you could show off any of the retics tonight?
Yeah, I can probably get the one big girl out. Usually either today or tomorrow is feeding day. So this is when it gets back in here, usually I got the camera, but can get a little bit better.
Yeah. Oh, that speckling, that is nice. And I know it looks even better. So I know it's not picking up those oranges.
Like down the, like right along where the actual black stripes are of her back, like along this, it's kind of like haloed in a darker orange. And then as it goes down the sides, it transitions into a more of a yellow orange. It's literally like someone took like a water paint set or even a charcoal set and it's white shaded. Just the colors diluted down. And I noticed a lot of his had like paradoxings in them. She's starting to actually get them out. A lot of Dalmatian spots are starting to pop up on her.
Oh yeah.
As she's aging more. But like that one, I couldn't, to get this as a surprise with this much pattern. Like this is top 3. This is top 3 animals I was looking to set out to make.
Nice.
Let alone make, even if I acquired it. But like the price tag on that is,
Yeah.
you can go buy a new car for it almost.
Yeah.
So to like have that, I was over ecstatic. And the amount of people that have, I could probably on both hands, people that have acquired to purchase her. I've turned down stupid money.
Got to
Stupid money.
do it.
Stupid money for her. I was like, it's not even about the money on that one.
Nope.
On that specific
You made
animal. That was a top
dream
3 animal
animal
that I looked to acquire.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I accidentally made it. So, but back to the question, I got veered off on her. What was the original question again, Keys? Or Dave? I think he asked one.
Most anticipated.
Most anticipated is, I like blackhead. I dove deep into blackhead probably back in 19.
I'm still looking to add it.
Still looking at. I picked it. Oh no, I'll get bid out of this girl. I picked this up.
You about to make BPL happy.
Whoa, let's
Getting
put you
put it
on
on one
solo.
screen.
I picked this girl up. Yeah, just light me up if you're gonna do it.
Oh.
Oh, I heard the hiss.
Oh, she tried.
So this is blackhead ringer clown. If I could get him. And I literally, a lot of people call me for clown pied stuff, and I'm like, technically in my mind, I'm still building.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
She feisty, boy.
Yeah,
She's going for that camera.
she don't like me.
Do you name these snakes?
My nephew does. He does. He'll name some of them. I got 2 blackhead black pastel red jean pieds, and he calls them the Psycho Sisters.
Oh,
They are
Are all your blackheads like that?
I have, for the most part, actually all of them except for one, and that's a blackhead leopard ringer clown head hypo. She's the only one that legitimately you can open up the tub. Every single other blackhead I got, they're on edge. They're either ready to eat, they're ready to bite your ass. For the most part.
That's how. I don't know.
Reptile Hutch wants you to give it a kiss.
Right in the mouth.
Oh, she'll give me a kiss back.
Speaking of, I might have missed this. Somebody may have already asked the question. Have you ever been bitten in your 3 years, or even before you started your breeding?
I've been bitten by the ball pythons. I've never been bitten by a retic.
Thank God.
Thank God, yeah. I've seen many videos.
Jay took it like a champ, though.
Whatever you do, that's all I know is don't pull back. Just let them. If they get your arm, just let them have that. I do have bottles of rubbing alcohol, like on hand in here. I'm literally legitimately looking at 3 bottles of 90% rubbing alcohol. The caps are off them, so legitimately all you got to do is
There you go. Like,
break
take
that.
Get off me.
Break that seal on something and let her release. But I've always tried, since I had them, that was a main point, was everyone, I mess with them. I grab their tail, I'll mess with their head. When they were younger, I'm like, if I'm going to get bit, I'd rather get bit by a less than 2-foot snake than a 10-foot snake.
Yeah.
So they're the kinds of snakes that you can grab them by the head, kiss them, put them up to your face. I don't recommend that. Anyone just go and do that. I've had these animals for a couple of years now. I learned how to read them. I know when to mess with them and when not to mess with them.
Yeah.
I have one girl where if she's in shed, don't even bother. She'll throw that coil and she'll smack the side of that enclosure. She does not like to be messed with in shed. Most of the other ones, they don't give a crap. But like that's just a characteristic of one of them.
And she's probably a sweetheart when she's not in shed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have 2 nephews and a niece, and I think they all range from 4 to 9 years old. Legitimately, they can hold half of her, and I have no monitored. Just for the people that worry about that stuff, monitored, but I have no worries of any of them snakes taking to them, striking, doing anything. They've been around since they've been around. If you want to say it like that. They've seen them, they've had them, they were interacting with them. They're used to them.
I mean, to be,
I've never been bit by rats or anything either. In all my years of, I've never been bit by a mouse, never been bit by a rat, never been bit by an ASF. But I do know
ASF.
What been bit by rats and the ASFs?
Oh man, you're good.
And
the ball pythons, no. What the rats?
Yeah, we're the opposite.
The rats and the ASFs, yeah.
I mean, our rats and our ASFs aren't like tearing us up or nothing crazy like that. But once every few weeks, you'll get like a warning little nip or something like that.
It's been a while with the rats.
Yeah, the rats are good.
The ASFs, nah, those fuckers.
I'm not gonna
lie. Do you want new fresh water or not? That's how they act.
I use tongs when I pick them little devil creatures up.
Oh,
like I'm not. I mean, I will do it to where the females and the males know me now, but I do have 1 or 2 colonies to where when it's
when you just stick your hand in it, there's still many of them.
Oh, you stick your hand in there, and it's gonna look like, you ever seen like that '80s movie Critters, where everything just goes and bites? That's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look like your hand's fur ball coming out of that tub. I don't.
So you take the precautions. That makes sense.
I take extreme precaution with the ASFs. I learned very quickly with them. They were nice and sweet when I got them home, but then after like a week, oh man, they're psychos.
They look nice and sweet. So cute. They look so cute.
They look so cute. That's how they get you. But yeah, that's what. And so I mean, there's majority of them. I can pick them up. I don't get bit by them, but I got like 2 colonies. No, I don't mess with those 2 colonies. Like you can legitimately put something in there. You can give them food, and it'll look like it's just like rapid fire. It's like bam, 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 bam. It's like, yeah, I'm not putting my hand in there. I'm not.
Yeah, we feed them all the time. They just crazy.
I give them treats. I'm like, well, maybe they're not getting enough of this, so I would give. I started giving like broiled chicken. Like maybe they're not getting enough meat.
Nice.
Giving broiled chicken as a treat. Giving them wild sunflower seeds, wild bird seed. They love that. That's like that's like a line of Coke for them. Them things go nuts. Oh, I'm not kidding you. I just grabbed a 1 gallon bucket and I got a big old container that I just get the bird seed by.
Catnip.
Oh yeah. And legitimately, soon as they sign, I'll take like a little cup and I'll just give them 1 cup about every other day of that bird seed for a full size colony. Soon as that first tub, as soon as it starts pinging off the metal mesh, dude, all the colonies, they know what it is. It's like ringing.
They know what time it is.
they know exactly what it is because they'll just all start herding up to the screening. It's crazy how they can learn and remember that for what they little creatures they are.
Well, we're actually just moving our ASFs. Right now, we got them in like the big 30-something gallon tubs, probably. And we're moving them from there into the regular, just pull out rat racks. And at first, because when you first get them, they jumping. And after you have them for a while, they kind of calm down. You just pick out that you
throw them in a snake tub. Then they go.
Oh, yeah. When they're like, okay, now it's time to jump. But we're just now transitioning into putting them into the racks. And they've been a lot calmer than we thought it was going to be. So they actually stay to the back, and when you open it up, they run to the back. So I think we're going to do that, move them all to a rack. I'm assuming you have yours all in racks, you said?
Yep, all homemade, Home Depot racks. I think some of mine are like 2x2s. I have one, we call it the tank, like the beast tank. It's like a completely solid 2x4. It's 3 wide and 6 high. I overbuilt it, over-engineered it. It was ridiculous to move.
Yeah.
But those are all my rats. So when I did ASFs, all I did was 2x4 for the structural vertical frames. And all of my PVC from over the years, I've kept all my scrap PVC. If it was over like a foot long and 2 or 3 inches wide, I kept all them pieces in the shop over in a corner. I'm like, I'll use them for something one day for much as I paid for it back then. When you go buy PVC now, you're paying big bucks.
Yeah.
Trust me, I just went and bought 30 more sheets a couple weeks ago, and I about died when I seen the price. So that ASF rack was all the individual tub frames I made from a bunch of the extra PVC that I had lying around. That made it insanely lighter. I used all my runners for the tubs for it. If I'd say now, like given the way that like supplies are going, wherever you do go and get your tubs, the brand or the style that you're getting, most likely, if you're getting them right now, you might have a different style next time you go there. And when I say that is when the height of the runner, where that tub actually slides in and out, the companies have different heights on the actual sides of the tub. So you may build your rack for one size, and you'll go, let's say that you got a bunch of chew outs, and you had just enough as it was. So now I need to go buy 1 or 2 more tubs. That's how it is. That's what I'm running into around here. You might go there, and that tub you might be trimming some plastic off it, or you might be having a gap now.
Well, right now we have one random tub that we bought and just happened to be the other size. So we just have one random tub, and we were like, okay, we prefer the one with the thinner lip. So we go with that one. I would hate to go to the store and then they only had a one with the fat lip, and we're like, okay, what the hell are we gonna do now? So yeah, that's something to think about, definitely.
That's what
you're gonna make me go and hoard some tubs right now, real quick. We haven't had chew outs in a good 6 months or so at least. Thank goodness.
Never had a chew out.
That's what when I buy any more, I buy extra. I have 2 different styles of tubs. The old Odd Job, I think that broke about every person's heart that had rat racks when the original Odd Job tub, Lowe's and Home Depot stopped carrying that and went to this other style, which everyone's finding now, to where it's got the grooves on the front of the tub, and then it's got the keyhole on the front.
That damn keyhole, man.
Yep. The best thing to do is take a 1/4-inch bolt and 2 fender washers. Put a fender washer on, put the bolt through, put a nut on it, put another fender washer on it. I promise you they won't mess with it ever again.
That's nice.
I've seen that, yeah.
I do that straight out the gate anymore. I don't put a tub in that doesn't have that in. Whether I know they're chewers or not chewers, I don't want to be out there cursing out rats. I've come into the rat house time before where I'm like, what the hell is this all over the ground? And I'm like, start going up the rack, and there's more shavings and food and rat poop and all that. And I'm like, what the hell? And then by the time you get up, look, the 2 seconds it takes you to look from the ground to the where that rack is, there's a hole, and there's a rat looking out at you, about to your face. What the
They're
hell?
chewers. You gotta get rid of them.
You
That's
got
that's
to.
learned behavior. They say start chewing, they don't stop.
And then the other ones see them chewing and like, oh, that actually looks kind of fun.
So
And it's not their fault. That's in their nature. But once they start doing that, it's a wrap.
gotta
I
go.
started doing to where, depending on where you got, like how your area is, just going and getting either off trail, like down limbs, if you can tell which kind of like lumber they actually are. If you find a down tree, like I've found maples down before. So I've taken old maple and chopped it up, and then just given them a piece of block just to chew on.
Yeah. Oh, we
Or
give
even
them
an
stuff.
old oak tree. You just get one branch, you chop that stuff up. They'll give them a bunch of stuff to chew on for a while. Help gnaw down their teeth as well.
Yeah.
Them
That's why I like
ASFs, you might
the
as
mechanics
well throw in
claw
a metal
too.
can.
When they eat and they constantly filing those teeth down trying to get to the food. So it helps.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, that's whatever you do to get ASFs. I did. Now, so the one ASF rack, I made the mistake when that was my first ASF rack that I did. 2 of the columns are completely 1/4-inch mesh. The third column is all 1/4-inch mesh, except for where I did the food. Some people were saying, oh, you might want to use 1/2 inch in case they can't get to the food. I've never had them. There really wasn't anybody around here. My one buddy, I got some colonies off of him that's local. I didn't ask him right off the bat. I got his after I had built it. And first thing he did when he came over to my rat house the one time, he's like, you put in 1/2 inch, didn't you? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He goes, you should have just called me or texted me. I would have told you, don't put 1/2 inch in. Just use the 1/4 inch. They'll be fine. They'll get it. Because my worry was they weren't going to be able to get. I'm used to rats. I'm used to them getting through that big hole. And you look at that 1/4 inch, you're like, how are they going to get their food through that?
Yeah.
So now I've literally had to make covers because them babies will go through that 1/2 inch screen mesh. They will make them ASFs will make it through that 1/2 inch screen.
We got 2 sides.
Oh, we got a little.
Well, yeah, I have mostly the really tiny, what is it? The 1/4 inch, and then in one little section I made with the wider one, just in case. So we have food in
the food to go down.
Yeah, we got food in the wider one. We got food in the other one, so it works out either way.
Yeah, that's what I did. I split the front. The whole thing is 1/4 inch, and then in my food compartment, I cut out a little section to use the 1/2 inch.
Yeah,
that's where them little escapees come through. I've literally had it to where I'm like, all right, I made covers because I found one just kind of crawling around in the rat house. I'm like, well, I know how that got out. So I started putting covers on them. Never found anything for a month or so. And then when I popped open that cover over the food compartment, there's like 3 of them in there just having a buffet in there.
I don't think our ASFs can. They are the little baby ones are tall enough to reach the watering system that we have.
You seen the picture on our Instagram with the water bottle. With the ASF, she found it inside of it.
Oh Lord,
well,
yeah.
They'll figure out a way to get up. I'm sure. I think your system, like your rack, if you do a rack system, it'll probably be close to mine. If you have 1/2 inch, it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
They've been in there 2 weeks now. We just trying it out because we had it empty for some rats.
But all I did was to fix that, to make a quick, easy fix, so you don't got to tear it all up or replace the fabric. All I did was I got an acrylic square, or you can use basically any kind of material that did. If you can get to the back corner of that square, and all I did was I just drilled a screw into that. I drilled out the hole, put a screw in there, so it actually just kind of slide turns on that back left corner, depending on what side you're. That way you ain't got to tear it apart, because I'm like, I am not tearing this thing apart.
So they made it only 3 by 3 inches and 4 by 4 inches. Not a really big section, and I didn't do the whole front or anything like that. Just a small little section in the front corner. So, all right.
Or if you just keep it full, but a lot of times when I give them too much food in that half-inch hole screening, it's like they just chew it just to chew it. It'll be all there on the ground below them. They won't actually eat it. Now, as to where the ones that are solid 1/4 inch, I don't ever have any issues with them because they're just fighting to get it through the 1/4 inch. They get what they need, and then that's good enough for them.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Terrence likes to feed them. And it makes sense because you don't want them getting hungry and saying, "Oh, them babies looking kind of tasty right now." So we somewhere in the middle with the feeding. I don't have them on a diet by any means because I feed them in the morning and at night. And then Terrence comes through and he gives them like a little bit and like push some through to make sure they got some down there. So they get fed either way.
Nice and plump. With a nice and plump.
Oh yeah, they look like little grizzly bears with a little head on them. That's what some of my colonies look like. I open them up and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with them things? My God, I'm barely giving them any food, but yeah, I made the mistake to where the ones with the half-inch, I think when I first got them, that was my biggest find out of where I screwed up with the half-inch on that. I would fill the food compartment completely full, and mine, I have one side with the water line and the other side, and it's split right down the middle, and it's probably only maybe 4 to 6 inches from front to back on the front side of the rack. So in general, it's probably a 4 to 6, probably by at least 8 or 10. I think they're 32-ounce glasses. I think you can fit 3 or 4 of them in there. So mine is top it off just like the rats, fill it all up. It'll drain out through the week. I come back the next morning, that whole food compartment was gone, just completely gone.
She built a hopper. She's about to show you what she did.
This is our current ASF setup. We are looking to upgrade, as you can see.
Got a bunch of those tubs like that.
Yeah, but this is what I did as far as the food is concerned. So I made these hoppers, and they used to be like hanging up on the wall. But then when they hang up on the wall, they like to use it to climb. But that way they can eat. Just don't look at all the substrate and everything, but just fill it, and they get right through it, and they eat what they need when they need it. But then, of course, we always throw some, like a handful of food in there anyway, just because.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my favorite thing when having to deal with these types of tubs. I want to make some more, but then again, I want to put them all in racks too. So we'll see what I end up doing. But this is pretty much our setup.
I was almost going to go to that style. But then I just thought, I'm like, yeah, then I'm my luck, then I got to move them. And I don't know. I guess I was just used to the rack system and pulling them in and out. And I did not. I've made all my racks. I've made all my rat racks. I want to get to the point where I'm going to buy racks. I'm going to love that day where I don't actually have to build them anymore. I always say it. I think I've said it the last 2 times. I'm not buying. I'm not building. I'm going to buy. And then by the time that is, I'm out there in the shop and I'm building.
See, I'm not that great of a builder, but I like doing it. I think it's fun. Like I said in like another live, it's in my genes. My dad is like super duper handy, and it's been passed down to a certain extent. So I built 4 out of our 5 racks. The first one we bought from a friend, and I was always on the fence about, can I do this? I don't know. I thought I had the skills to do it, but when I seen, he had it home built by whoever built it, I don't know if it was him or not. He did it. Of course, he's awesome too. But I said, let me watch a few videos, and I did the first one. And ever since then, like, I ended up building a workbench, a work table. Terrence had to stop me from building something to try to put in the kitchen. Like, I was so serious. But yeah, I like building the racks. Honestly, I want to do like the drop front because right now you have to unhook the water lines. I want to do it so that you pull it and then it comes down like a half an inch.
Yeah.
And I'm a visual learner, so even though I just said it and it makes sense to you, and you could probably just knock that out, in my head I have to see it and not just imagine it. So if somebody has like a video or something, or even some pictures of the drop system where you pull it out and come down just a little bit so you can slide it out the rest without having to take that water line out. I mean, I'd probably be your best friend for a long time.
I think all they do is instead of your two front frame pieces that are on the front of the tub on the rack system, I think all they do is they recess that back a couple inches. And
It's
then
like
your
a little
water
bit in the
line,
front.
maybe don't quote me on it, but I don't know. Anywhere probably I'm guessing is 2 to 4 inches, somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay.
Then where your water line, but your tub still stops out there because all you're doing is releasing the back part of the tub to drop out. So your water line can be in the first 2 inches. So if you had like 3 or 4 inches from front to back of the rack system to where the rack doesn't actually rest on the riding rails, once you start to pull it out and that back of that rack comes past the riding rails, it'll drop straight down.
Yeah,
I wanted to do
sense.
it, but I was always in fear of, I was used to having the full running rails on them, and I'd be like pulling it out because a lot of times I'll like set it out and I'll just kind of let it sag there a little bit when I'm picking pups or anything like that, or taking out a female, or if a female lay litter and I'm pulling her and putting her in a maternity rack. My fear is I'll be like, yep, looking over here and pull this out and it just drops straight to the ground, and then you're 4, 5, 6 plus pups running around the rat room.
You definitely have to train yourself, like, okay, and stop. Instead of just, okay, I got the whole run of this. Who sold this Rose? I can't remember.
To some people that may sound like easy, but when
the one
you're
who told me about that.
Lake Street Sneaks up.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the next one that I do. I'm gonna do it. What's the worst that can happen?
rats running around.
Okay.
Right.
You forget about that style and it drops out. And my biggest fear, we have it to where one jumps out, or I mean, you'll have the jumpers out in that rat house. I got it like my nephew's over there. It's basically if you hear somebody scream lockdown, because a lot of times we're working with the doors open. So either the man door on the side of the building's open, or it actually has a back room into the room, which actually just contains just the rats and a 9x12 back there. And then the ASFs and everything are in the other part of the building. You'll have that occasional rat that just kind of like jumps down, and all my racks are like Jenga in there. So one comes down and goes in behind the rack. One of us is usually screaming lockdown, and whoever's closest to the door, it just closes that back door on it. Then it's the fun game of pulling out the racks, trying to find it. But
you keep any traps down?
I do keep traps down. I do keep 2 rat traps down in the rat room, and then I have, I think it's 4 or 5 mouse traps out in the big room. That's with the ASFs and all that. And usually all I do is I put them along the walls.
Yeah.
99% of the time, if you have a loose mouse or the ASFs, a lot of the times
they run along that wall.
They run along the walls. Now the rats, you can put that out in the middle of the room. They won't take a straight line. They'll crisscross, they'll zigzag when they run or when they're out and about. But a mouse most of the time will like to stay kind of hidden and all that and stay and shoot in a straight line. So you're best off if you got a loose mouse. Just put your trap against the wall, put some peanut butter or cheese on it, like they always say, and you'll eventually get it.
Yeah.
But
have you had like a lot of runaways as far as snakes are concerned?
I've never had knock on wood, I've never had a snake escape. I have
That's
lost or forgotten what I did with a snake. I've gone to where, like, I was going through a lot of my males. I keep them, even some of my breeder males, I still keep them in an FB10, and they'll be anywhere from the 500 to 800 gram range. But they eat and they breed, so they keep them in that FB10. So when you're going to do waters one day and you open up a tub on a fairly nice male, and that male's not in there, and you know you had that tub open yesterday, but you didn't remember that you put him in with a female, you start like, you start freaking out. I'm like, shit, I didn't close the tub. I must have left it open and either brushed it closed or it wasn't all, because I think I actually had just a hair, the lip of hair hanging out. And I'm like, what the hell is this? It's closed, but it's like not fully closed of how you know you push all your tubs in. And I'm just kind of like freaking out. I'm like, I'm pulling every single tub out the bottom racks, looking back in there, seeing if I can find them. I'm like, all right, it's going to go to a hiding spot. And I'm like, hopefully it didn't leave this room. Finally, it was my fault. I didn't even pull the breeding card and put the breeding card in the tub to know that I had him in there. And I opened that up, and he was just still sitting in the back chilling. I'm like, come here. You're going in here. About had a heart attack. Yeah, I've come close to. I guess that's as close as I've actually had a possible runaway, I guess you would say, or an escapee with the snake wise. The biggest thing I had was with the retics. I was always worried that they would bust out or something. I've seen some people put them in like the 1/4 inch thick PVC, and they're like, oh yeah, they're fine. I had one buddy that kind of did that with his retics. He's never had one escape, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm using 1/2 inch. I can't use that 1/4 inch stuff. I'm like, all I can see is like see him flexing or pushing on it or something, and just popping that 1/4 inch, and then playing where's the 10-foot snake.
We still need to bring one of those out.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, when can we see one of the retics?
Yeah, you guys, I'll get my biggest girl out.
Ooh, please get bit on camera if you do.
Oh, she won't bite. Oh, where's my hook?
It's quiet tonight. Everybody Black Friday shopping.
Yeah.
No.
Yo, they missing it. This is my favorite show thus far.
Does anybody ever whistle at their snakes like they understand you? Like they're a dog?
No, we should try it.
Talk to them.
I do that with my retics, and I'm like, and sometimes I'll think to myself, I'm like, you're an idiot. That snake isn't hearing you. Oh.
We definitely talk to them. We call them our babies. Sometimes our grandbabies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Beautiful. Right. Oh man.
Now, how big? See, we don't do red readings, so Terrence knows, but I don't. How long would that snake potentially get?
So, the individual breeder I bought it from was John Romeo, and he's over, I believe, in Connecticut or Massachusetts. I want to say Massachusetts. He breeds the retics. She's an identical copy to her father. And I asked him how that was kind of one of my first ones. Now my lavender's a mainland. She's probably likely going to get big. He was the first one that was telling me that generally golden childs will stay somewhat smaller than what normal mainlands and everything will. Just gonna wrap around my arm. He said she should technically max out at around 14 to 16 foot.
Damn.
Man.
And this is roughly 9 to 10-ish. maybe 11. It's under the state recommendations. I do know that.
She loves.
You know, a lot of times I think I had one on Instagram to where this is like her game. She will just like legitimately run through your hand.
What's the state regulations? 14?
I believe 12.
12?
I believe once it's over the 12 foot, she has to be registered. And there are a whole bunch of procedures, but I mean, this is
A sweetheart. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
She knows who daddy is.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
She
that
just
is amazing. How heavy is she?
How much does
Like,
she weigh?
last time I
Yeah.
weighed her, she was about 30 pounds.
damn.
And that's what some people have asked me. They're like, man, she's like short for what people generally would think for, I mean, what is she? 18? She's going on close to 4 years old. And everyone's telling me, man, she should be like 13, 14, possibly 15 foot already. And I said, I give her small meals every week. Once she did get to, I think like 1 to 2 years old, I did switch to the every 2 weeks meal. But other than that, when she was little, I didn't power feed her. It wasn't like anything for me to try to push her to grow. That was my last thing that I was worried about, was her
Not
getting
breeding
big,
her.
actually. Yeah. So I was looking for longevity of like kind of keeping her small, but keeping her healthy. Not having her skinny, not having her obese. But I mean, this is like solid muscle snake. When they say these things are just like solid muscle, I probably want to do it on here because of my lighting and everything. But if she wraps around that arm, they're no joke. Like that hand's purple. That hand will be as blue as the tattoo ink on me. And she won't even technically be trying. She's just basically holding on.
Just strong. Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes like a lot of these will get tail shy. I've worked their whole entire time I've had them. I've worked with their heads and their tails so that that's not an issue. Because I do have my nieces and nephews come over. So whether I'm always thinking of different variables, whether worst case scenario that it was out and what kid was in there that they would recognize or associate with them. So there would be no worst case scenario involving any human or kid while they're here. And then just being able to handle them.
She looks like a puppy.
Yeah,
Right? Make me want one.
The only one that I'm like somewhat sketchy on is my male. Every now and then I can do the same things with him, but he kind of gets to a point of, all right, you've been fucking around with me long enough. Don't screw with me no more. You got away with that. But yeah, this tongue flicks. I got that. Oh no, I got the ceiling fan off. They got a lot of problems. I have a ceiling fan in this room, and a lot of times when I get these out, they're like, I'm not kidding you. They'll probably put a whole third, if not half of their body up. You can have your arm out like a perch, and half their body, they'll go vertical up to the ceiling with their head. It's amazing that they can hold that much of their body just out straight up, and still be clamped down onto your arm on the other end. Now, the bad part is when she gets out like this and I go to put her back in,
She don't want to go.
Oh no. Oh no, man. She'll go crazy. She had a tendency. She'll, like, if I come in this room and I work, if I'm in here longer than 5 minutes, I was honestly surprised she wasn't pushing in on the glass. She thinks it's time to come out.
Yeah.
And it's bad on the days that I can't get her out or I'm working in here. Like, if I got to, depending on my work schedule and everything, I got to come in here, I got an hour to work. Even trying to get her out for like 5 minutes, it's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel
Where are
bad,
the
like, oh man, like damn, I got other snakes to take out. I can't just spend all my time with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, she'll let me lift her lips up, and that row of teeth, it's right there.
So, what are the odds of Keys getting recheck?
As soon as Justin decides he wants to breed them, and I'll ride my first with him
We've been thinking about it off and on,
to
honestly,
feed off the large rats too. Yeah.
because we have like quite
that
a
was
few
what I got him
retired
for.
rats. Yeah,
I'll put her.
we need a rat disposal unit.
We'll get a female. Apparently, they're nicer.
Yeah.
The male's not bad. Grab him out. Oh, all right, uncoil.
Pipeline, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Not
Everyone
yet.
tells me everyone tells me to get one and all that. I'm in skilled trades, and a lot of times, honestly, the past month or so is probably the first time in a while that I've not had to work 12 to 16 hours days ish.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been loving the 8-hour days. Plus, I mean, it's kind of like a one-man show. I'm doing the snakes, I'm doing the rats, and everything. Honest to God, I commend you guys for how you find time to do them videos. Because to get mainly all my stuff done, I have to take away sleep from myself.
Well, we shoot the videos on Saturday, and then she edits on Sunday. So we just film them all the same day, unless it's like an unboxing or something. So we just pick a day to make sure we do it.
Mm-hmm. Like we didn't do one this week, but we still have time. Yeah, we still have time. Oh, it's after mid. I just looked at the computer and it said Saturday. I was like, damn, did we miss a whole day? I was like, I could have sworn it was Friday. Yo, it must be past my bedtime. I'm bugging.
Let's see if it'll. See if I can get better light.
Nice.
Doing all these lives, like my sleep schedule has changed. Like I'm surprised I'm upright. I did take a nice little nap though.
Took a nice nap.
I mean, this is the male again.
Oh, that's the male.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Look at that. I want to hold him. I want to hold him so bad.
My nephew did have he's got all the retics named. So I guess if some of them are named, he does have these renamed.
I'm sure he named them.
Yeah, we got, this is Boba. Can you guess? His name's Boba. What do you think that's off of? A 9-year-old.
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars. Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. We got Boba. We got Motley, which that one I guess was creative. It's got a Motley G.
Motley Crew.
Yeah. And then one is Karma. I don't know where the hell he got that from. And then we got one that's Rachel Ray because it looks like Rachel Ray cookware. He goes, it looks like the cookware that's in Mom's kitchen. Whatever, dude.
Ooh, I want to see it now because I like her cookware. It's got little spots on it usually.
Yeah, it's a big purple girl. Yeah, I might as well go with it. I've gotten them all out. Here we go. Yeah, it's not that time.
You want to eat?
I'm over here cyber stalking you right now. I see that you did a live a while back earlier this year. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Who?
Earlier last year or whatnot.
Oh, okay.
Sometime.
House of Gaia? Yeah, I was looking for you on YouTube. I was gonna drop your link, but when you get a link, when you get some time.
To make a YouTube.
we really enjoy YouTube more than I thought that we were going to. So I mean, give it a try. Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
mean, I'm enjoying everything that you're saying. Like, it's awesome listening to you. So
Let's see if she. The problem is I don't have a very good camera, but she's just a purple albino. Let's see if I can.
nice.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Nice. Big.
Yeah, they get
Man.
for how dense they are is what's kind of impressive about them. Because
Yeah.
they don't. I mean, I can almost get my hand around them, but they're solid.
Hey, Jess.
Ugh. See, if I did YouTube, I'd have to get a fancy camera because the phone just doesn't.
Oh, nah. We use
Let
a
me know.
phone.
Yeah, we use our
It's
phone
got to be my
too. I
lighting.
mean,
I got
lighting is
flood
definitely
lightings.
important.
See, usually I was just used to taking a picture from overhead when they're on my cocoa cans or anything. So actually trying to get pictures or anything from a vertical or a horizontal stance, I guess the lighting's not as well. Get in there,
Later,
fatty.
BPL Junior. I'm not gonna keep you too much
Later,
longer.
Junior. What
You guys hear
suffix do
me
you
okay?
use? Yeah.
Lockdown. I use cocoa.
For everybody?
Specifically, brand at this point in time is Cocoa Blocks.
Got this
I use
stuff.
Cocoa Blocks. I have used Reptichip.
Yeah, Coco.
Given where my geographical location being in northern Ohio during the summers, we're humid as hell, hot as hell. During the winters, we're dry one day, wet one day. It's practically close to Florida, except we do get snow up here. That's the only difference. We see 20 degrees and we see snow, but one day's different to the next.
Yeah. All right.
So I did paper for I don't know how long.
I prefer
I'd never
paper, though.
I can't go back to it up here. My sheds were always stuck, and it always stunk. It always stunk. You were always cleaning, changing paper.
Always cleaning. Always cleaning.
Always changing paper.
ABC, always be cleaning.
But it wasn't even to that point. It was mainly my sheds.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm either spraying down paper during the winter, and then they're sitting on wet paper, and that wet paper is a little bit different than the actual wet substrate.
Yeah.
I switched to I've used Reptichip. I've used the Pro Cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
The best that I found was the Cocoa Blocks. It was big at the time. It was less dusty. They have improved more on their dust factor of it from Freedom Breeder. I think I made a video of it. I actually took a cement mixer, took a plastic trash can, converted it into a screen sifter. So now I'm like screen sifting cocoa by 20 or 30 pounds, and all I'm doing is flipping a switch.
Dope.
I got tired of moving it and screening it by hand to get the dust out of it. So I got bored and, hey, there's a cement mixer. Here's a tub. Put a little bit of screening on it. Automated. Load it, dump it, turn it on, everything.
You got access to it.
Right. I'm trying to imagine, like, if somebody had a video on how to make that, like, the views on that would be crazy. Like, I want to see that. That's awesome.
I can't remember. I have it on my reels, I think, but I can't remember how many views it's had.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out.
But yeah, it's legitimately, and I mean they got the cement mixers. You can move them, adjust them to where it tilts the basket towards you. You load it up with the cocoa. I load it up with the cocoa and then put the cap on it, tilt it completely horizontal, turn it on, and it screens all the dust out. Let it run 5-10 minutes, and you got 20 or 30 pounds done, just like that.
Anything to make life easier. I love that.
And that was what it was, because I was going through about close to 100 pounds every time 100 pounds of cocoa every time I was cleaning. So you're sitting out there you're breaking blocks up. Your hands, they're not pruned, but they're sore. Your finger, you don't want to see a hard block of cocoa to break it up dry, because I wouldn't wet it, because I ended up wetting 100 pounds of that, and I store it in the big brute force trash cans until the actual day. Like, it's preparation to clean. Like, it's legitimate preparation to clean this from where my collection's at. It's a job.
Yeah.
I've had some people ask
12-hour, 16-hour days. Do something like that. Another all-day process just to sit to clean.
Yep. I can, and that's what it would. It would be. That's where I got to the point of making that coconut sifter. It got to the point where, like, I would legitimately, just like you said, it would take me a couple hours to do 10 or 12 blocks of cocoa. That's hand sifting it. I made a little 2x3 screen, kind of like you did for like a rat rack, and I would screen all the dust out of it over a 70, like an FP70 tub. So gallon or two of coconut, sift it, dump it, keep on going. Just a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So I'm like, one day I'm like, there's got to be something. You got to be able to make something. So then the wheels start turning in my head. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to make this. Now it's the best thing.
That work.
Yeah. Now I bet you easily less than a half hour, or not less than a half hour. I'd say less than an hour. I can do all the cocoa in less than an hour, and that's taking my time.
Yeah.
So I went from a couple hour job to less than an hour. Made life a lot easier.
Definitely work time to put it together, especially being a one-man show. Anything that's gonna cut your time down is invaluable.
Plus, I'm LLC, so that's just an expense, really. Supplies, everything. So that's an expense. That's a tool. That's now that's a piece of company equipment.
Hell yeah.
But I'm not going to keep you everyone much longer. Before we do end this pipeline, I ask everyone this: if there's one positive thing you could leave behind to the community, somebody that could be watching this 5-10 years down the road, what will it be to them to get them more inspired into reptiles or loving the hobby with even not having reptiles? Pretty much.
On that aspect, I would say be informed. Do your research. That is the biggest. I got people at work. I got 2 guys at work that they gave me the most shit about the reptiles, the snakes, and all that stuff. And then they started seeing me move animals. And then it kind of like opened their eyes. And these are guys that mess with like stocks. They'll mess with stocks and play around with those stocks and stuff at work and other ways to invest it. And they would give me crap. They're like, you ain't going to make nothing. They would see some of the animals that I move and they're like,
return on investment.
Okay, well, yeah, that's what they're like. Maybe there is something in it. And the one guy, he's like, hey, do you ever like take investors and stuff? And I was like, no, not really at this time. I don't. But I mean, if you want to do something, I can help you set something up of what I would do. Or if you're depending on how much you want to invest in it, like a very sure way of going about it. do what makes you happy with what's hot. Do if you like this,
That
I
would be
got
a
ridicule
long-term investment,
and
not
building.
a short-term investment.
Yeah,
There's
mine was
always going to be
lavender, clown,
doubters.
and pied. So when I was building and everything of my collection, I would get people all the time. And that was just kind of like local. I only started social media, I think like a little over a year ago. Never had
Yeah.
Facebook. Never had Instagram.
You started around the same
Never
time as
had
us.
Snapchat. Yeah, I never had any of them. So I legitimately only started it for this. People that I was buying from, they're like, you need to start this whether you want to or not, just to show people what you're working with and what you're doing and everything. That way you can have reason for what you have and do. But I did clowns and everything. Like I would go to like local shows, and then everyone's you don't want to do clowns.
It's breaking so bad.
Yeah.
The audio just like shattered.
Oh man,
Once you said clown and pie.
sound like it's coming back a little bit.
Dang it. Went in and out.
Yeah, but you sound good now.
Hear me?
You're welcome.
See, the internet hated me too. It didn't want to go to clown pie. But
It's gone again, man. The whole.
I think what you might be saying is that the reason why you're not doing a YouTube channel is because of the signal that you might be getting and said you out in the sticks. But we're telling you, we're the audience. We're the co-host right now, but we're part of the audience too. Like we will watch you. We will watch you, and you've got things to teach people. I really believe you do. So, I mean, nobody can push you to do anything, especially when you got, other time constraints and all that good stuff. There's no one way to do it. You don't have to be on YouTube. You don't have to be on Instagram. But I'm telling you, you have something that people need to see. So whenever you get the time to showing us, hey, we're going to be here to look. Definitely going to check out your Instagram. So thank you so much. Well, I know we already follow you because I've tagged you in a post, but I'm gonna go through your stuff. I'm gonna cyber stalk you a little bit.
Maybe when I get can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the volume coming through? Okay. So maybe when I get the new room, I might try to dabble into it as long as my work schedule stays the way it has been. And I believe that's only been staying that way because of everything the supply chains on has kind of helped me out, let me work as much. I might dabble in it. I just most of the time I'm an introvert. I usually stay in the back of the crowd. That's what some people are like. Where do you have this? Why don't you have a YouTube? Why don't you have an Instagram? Why don't you have this? I don't know. I mean, I've had these and grown them for years with no one to show. I just enjoyed seeing them and dealing with them myself. So it really wasn't anything about like trying to flash them because legitimately only friends and family have seen this since like for the past count how many years.
Yeah.
So if I was after trying to get followers or get people likes or whatnot, like that was what intrigued me too was my Instagram. I don't know. I had an interaction with an individual. I used the wrong song. Apparently I used an old song and the individual didn't care for it too much. And I just flat out told him, I said, sorry, dude, it's a song. I don't know what else to tell you. He rambled on about it. There was a whole, you can check on the Instagram. I'm sure it's still up on there. And all I did is he kind of went off on me or whatnot for legitimately nothing but a song. I wished him the best, basically. I'm like, dude, if it's coming down to where you're throwing a bitch fit about a song that's 15, 20 years old because I put it with a video of a snake, I wish you the best, man. I wish you the best and better things for you. And I don't know what it was. A couple people reached out, but after that incident, I didn't do anything different. So what makes me wonder is like the algorithm, or if, if they kind of got feeler people out there that check that stuff, or I don't know. But for some odd reason, I would end up getting 50 to 100 to 150 likes. I think some of my last stuff, it's up in near the 1,000 for likes. And I don't know if I went into a different algorithm or what it is.
Oh yeah, those algorithms are. They're set basically.
I was trying to understand how that worked.
Yeah, those algorithms are set for. They're not for the people who are on the platform. It's for the platform to make money. So basically, they're gonna show people what they want to show when they want to show it. You could have 100 people who want to see your stuff, and they're looking for you, and they won't even know you're posting because those 100 people are being shown 5 people, and though one of those 5 people are not you. So it's wild. Like, I'm sure, I don't know exactly how they work and how to get around that type of thing. There's people who do, but I know that it's wild. It's the way these algorithms work is just terrible. Honestly.
What up, crap, bro?
I'd get most my pictures would usually in the last few before it started to spike was like maybe 100 to 200. Like if I got 200, that was like an all-time high on a picture. So when I started getting like, it would go 3s, then 4s, then 5s, then 8s and 9s, and then I think one of my things has like, I think it just busted 1,500 today, which might not sound like a lot to people. But it was more in general, and a lot of times I'll look through like who's liking it to kind of see like how many of actually the snake people are liking it, or how many just random people are liking it. And I'm getting people from all over the world now.
Yeah.
That's a vast majority of it. I would say probably a fraction of it is the snake community or the reptile community in general, but just how many more it's touching across like the world, I guess. You would say,
yeah.
Not to
we get a lot of
sound
people
like it's something, but
not in the U.S. Are you using a lot of hashtags or?
Yeah, I try to use a lot of hashtags of what I can or what I would think would come across as someone with the reptiles or snakes or whatever. I'm not fully sure on how to use them, I guess, correctly, or if however you want to. Like I've used Desert Ghost in one before. I'm not in Desert Ghost yet. But just to come across other reptile and snake people, I didn't know. Just to have them see it or something. So, but that's my next recessive. I'm waiting. Wilma Rose posted one today on Instagram. I'm looking to get either a Desert Ghost Pied het clown or a Desert Ghost clown het pied.
Nice.
And the way my whole collection is, that's the best route to jump in Desert Ghost for me because everything's clown pied and dreamsicle route.
I'm gonna start trying to make some double hats with my pastel Desert Ghosts, pairing them off a lot this year.
That's dude, double head. Like when I make double and triple heads and stuff, the visual of them animals is crazy. Just the influence, how it changes.
Yeah, just the influence.
As so we're like making the het pieds and het clowns and all that, and it makes an influence. But once you start stacking the hets, that's when it's like, damn, that animal's nice as it is. Let alone you're not making it into a visual recessive yet.
Imagine.
But
I would max it out.
Many as you can possibly.
Yeah, max it out.
Stop.
I think last I knew, I think you were allowed 30. I think you were allowed 30 hashtags.
Yeah. We have our just copy and paste hashtags that we use that we think they're working pretty well, but then we'll go in and change a few depending on what the picture is or the post is. But I think
See,
the
that
ones
was
that we
another
use
thing
are
I did.
pretty effective.
The one that I started getting high likes on, I was copy and pasting that group of hashtags.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of in general of majority of all my projects and all that, and genes and recessives and stuff that I worked with. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or it always boggles me how that shit works.
Ball pythons of Instagram.
So it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. Do it.
There's a bunch of hashtags you could use. I mean, depending on the video, of course.
My daughter needs her phone charger. She got to come by here. She's a little scared.
Who's that? Who's that?
My daughter, she did a direct debut for the Mike video. So check that Mike video out. And if you on here, check out my baby's first video. She did rat cleaning.
Yeah.
Rat cleaning her first video. Check her out.
Oh yeah.
It's dope. I'm not just saying that because she paid me.
That's what I'm about ready. Like, I wish he's only 9, but I wish that kid had his driver's license. I would legitimately pay my nephew to clean that rat house every week. He comes over and helps and everything every now and then to clean it, but he's good for like maybe an hour or two. And he's like,
the kid.
yeah. He's like, I'm done. And I'm like, all right, thanks enough for that much help.
Oh, nah.
I'm grateful
They got
enough
no
for
choice.
that.
They got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I pay him or whatnot.
They like doing it though, so it helps.
Yeah. And he's like money driven. I'll pay him and stuff. And I'll be like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, you leave the hour. If you leave early, you leave work early, you're not getting paid for the hour.
You get down.
And sometimes he'll sit there, watch the clock, and like work through. And then sometimes he's just like, I don't care. I don't even care. He's like, I don't care. Don't pay me. And then he'll walk off. And I'm like, dang it, it didn't work. I tried to do the reverse psychology.
Our kids don't even get paid in trident layers. They just, helpers, indentured. No. They're what is it, like apprentices? Yeah, that sounds good. Because we're looking forward to the time when they're older, like 16, 17. Like, we want this to be their first job, like the family business type thing. So it's cool that your nephew's getting paid already. Ours is gonna be a while before they see a paycheck with keys and restrictors written on it, but it's gonna happen one day.
Yeah, 9 years old or whatever. He'll work a lot. So I mean, he gets a fairly good amount. I'll give him $5 an hour if he works the hour. So I usually pay him out once a year though. So once it comes Easter, that's when he gets paid.
Yeah.
So like when it's Easter, he'll be over. He's like, "Where's my envelope?" Because all the time I set an envelope, and I put his money in the envelope, and he's like, "How much do I got now? How much do I got now?"
Nice.
And I'm like, "Oh, you're up to this much." And so Easter, when he comes over for Easter, he's like, "Where's my envelope?" He's like,
you already know.
He's ready to make it. He'll go around. He's like, "I got this much," and I was like, "Yeah, it took you all year to make it." So he thinks he's big stuff to work in that. But I started teaching him like how genetics. So now like when he's over, if he's helping feeding or if I'm pairing or I'm pulling pairings or we're pulling clutches, I start questioning him, like trying to get him to understand the recessives and the codoms and dominants. Nice. So he knows pieds, lavenders, and clown are recessive, and it takes 2 of them or a het to make them again. So I'll give him the thing. I'll be like, "Hey, this yellow belly clown and this het clown, what can we make from that pairing? What kind of snakes will that make?" And he's one of those ones where he'll watch like Discovery Channel or Animal Planet, and he's the kid that'll just like randomly tell you facts. Like, where the hell are you coming in with that?
Yeah, that's my
like,
daughter.
Did you know that a hippo can outrun most humans? What was that from?
We had to sit there and watch the whole videos of the animal videos, which is awesome because when I was a kid, I was watching National Geographic. Now they got like YouTube
Yeah,
and they
that's
got so
another one.
many people with the fun facts. It's pretty cool.
We got it from these balls.
These
Yeah.
balls.
Yeah. Our hemp. Well, we get it from these balls, and we also get it from our Royal Hemp Bedding. Royal
Okay.
Hemp Bedding get a nice bulky price to these balls. What he does, he sells the blocks. We also got the a record chip from him too. Our cocoa block, we get that from these balls, and we get the rice husk shit, and some other stuff. He's right here in Florida, so he's pretty close by. Real hemp, you got to order it, and they got to deliver online. So, or you got to catch it from a show. But I
I've
totally
got
support hemp. Get that hemp.
yeah. I actually have 2 girls on it that were insane problem feeders. One I produced and one that I purchased. Let's see, she's an 18 and I think she's under 600 grams. An 18.
Mm-hmm.
I think since I've had her, I
Damn.
think she's ate less than 10 times.
What are you feeding her?
I put her, she's an FP10 and that she'll eat. ASF, mice, rats, she don't want any of it. So
Damn.
I kind of was doing the whole change thing. So
Mm-hmm.
from an FP10, I threw her in an FP3 with a very small, tight hide that she barely fits in.
Yeah.
And I used hemp. Just out of the blue, I was feeding hatchlings, and I'm like, let's see if she's been in there a day. Let's see if anything even happens, if she even strikes at it. Because it would get to the point where she wouldn't even strike at anything.
Yeah.
I threw that in there, and instantly, it was one of them deals where you pull the tub out 10 or 12 inches, and you drop the rat in there, and you just see it go, grab, and pull back. And I'm like, well, shit. That thing hasn't eaten in like 9 months, and it just took. So I'm like, I don't care. If you want hemp, I'll buy hemp. As long as
I hear
you
that.
eat.
As long as you eat, I hear that.
Long as you eat, I will put you on hemp for the rest of your life.
I had one golf last year. Well, she had 1,400 grams. I'm like, I'm gonna start pairing her off. But I don't know why I said I was gonna wait. She stopped eating. She didn't. That was in like September, October. She didn't eat again till April. So pissed me off. Now I had another girl. She was just a pothead clown, so I wasn't really like concerned. So I really didn't care. So it didn't piss me off too bad. But I had this other super pastel yellow belly head clown that went off feed for about 4 months. She finally ate 2 mice. Then she just started eating mice. That was it. So I was like,
And
long
then
as
shut
she
down
eat,
again.
shut down again for a minute. But then she just started eating rats out the blue 2 months ago. I was like, let me just try to give her a rat. After I moved her tub around a lot. I took her upstairs, brought her downstairs, put her in another rack, then I put her in this rack over here. And then she started eating the mice. So after a couple months later, she started eating the rats. But she should be a lot bigger. I should be able to breed with her last year, but right now she's only 1,100 grams.
Pike, Keys.
Try that
I'm
hemp.
gonna call it short.
I will try that hemp.
Try that hemp, man. It worked for mine less than a day. 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them. Never ate forever. And I put them in, they were both in FP10s, and I put them in the 40s, though, so a larger tub. But all I drastically did was change the bedding. They went from cocoa to hemp. And instantly, within less than 24 hours, I think that hemp messes with their senses of smell and taste.
Yeah.
Like if you open that's hemp strong. It's got the strong scent to it and everything, and I think that overrides them, and I think that puts them on guard. But
You
just
see,
like,
DEA
man, I
said
was
he
doing
got a year and a half.
when
A year and a half. Can you imagine that?
I'd be sick. I'd be like, oh my gosh. I don't know how he did it.
and
He
the
must
one
have been
the one
stressed
that
out.
didn't eat for 9 months. That was my biggest investment snake. So
Oh damn!
you're sitting
My style was
there
paid
looking at
$100 for that snake.
yeah.
Or 200, no, 180, but still.
So it was the most stressful 9 months, I guess. The only thing worse, or not worse, but the only thing more stressful could be is I guess if you're having a kid or something. when everything goes good and everything and healthy for it. I mean, I was stressing out over it. I was like, just all I need you to do is eat. I don't even care if you eat a mouse. I don't care if you eat a mouse
Just
pinky,
eat.
as long as some
Just
kind of
eat.
calories is going in there. But yeah, I would try that. Try the hemp keys. I mean, just get you can get them in different size. Get them in little packs.
Oh, I got tons of hemp. We buy them bulk. That's what we do for our rats. So
How does it work does it do well for them? Do you
oh,
find that the hemp?
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the
'Cause
rat video. But you don't do it on YouTube, but check
Alright.
out the rat video. The rat
Yeah,
video.
I've said
'Cause
we would do 100% hemp because we had 100% hemp at what time
We
when
was
we
doing that,
had.
but this saves some money.
Yeah,
Mixing it with the pine.
I love hemp. I love hemp bedding. Let me
See, that's
say.
I was thinking about switching mice. The mice are worse. I have the mice and I'm using the ASFs, so my problem feeders are going on the ASFs and they're taking them
Yeah.
way better than the mice. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, do I really want to get rid of the mice in case I need them mouse hoppers?
The hatchlings will eat. The hatchlings will eat the ASFs. I feed them ASFs or I feed them
Yeah.
right before little pups for fuzzies. They eat fuzzies, straight up fuzzies or ASFs. So, but my hatchlings are pretty big, but still, ASFs
Usually
and
I
fuzzies.
only with new hatchlings, I guess I've gotten lucky. From what I've seen from other people, I thought it was just the way to go. I thought it was like you get the hatchling and then you offer their first meal. I was doing like not rat pinkies, but I guess you would call them like rat fuzzies, where they're just starting to get that fuzz hair on them and
Yeah,
everything.
nice
I
and
was
thick.
doing,
They're already big. Do fuzzies.
yeah, they're real chunky looking.
Yeah.
I was feeding them, and then
Yep.
recently I've been watching some people's videos. They're like, oh yeah, it's on the mouse hoppers or ASFs to get them the confidence and get them going and get that food drive and all that. And I'm thinking, well,
Nah,
like some
go with the
people have
fuzzies. They
luck
already
with
bigger.
doing, and that's what I was like, man, I guess I kind of been, maybe I'm doing it wrong or whatnot, but I've just been
Nah,
going
you got
straight to rats.
I was told that to do the rat hopper. I mean, do the mouse hoppers. I started off doing that, but then a buddy of mine, I saw them do the fuzzy. I was like, it's not too big, but it wasn't too big, and I've been doing it ever since. Except for the ones
Oh,
that
no.
you gotta assist feed just because they don't want to eat. Other than that, ASS and fuzzies.
That's what if it's like the animal that I have, I know that I'm going to eat, I'll straight off SF right out the gate. If someone did want to buy it and had to have it or something, yeah, I'm gonna let them know. Be like, hey, since that thing's been out of the egg, it's been on ASFs, it's been on mouse. Anybody that's ever
No, I
gotten
get them
anything
off.
from
I get
me,
them off. They're not addicted to the ASFs. None of my snakes, besides my pet clown girl and a pastel gravel boy, all they eat are ASS. But I had them for a while. But all my hatchlings, I start them off on ASS, but they eat rats before I sell them.
Yeah, I mean the ones that I am selling, they do the rats, or if need be, because it's one of the last things I want to do is like give them the mouse hoppers and make them be a mouser. That's my always biggest fear.
Yeah.
After dealing with mice for so long, try to keep them on the rats. So, but I mean, like once like I just hatched that Orange Dream Firefly Clown Pike. That ain't going nowhere.
I hear that. Derek, what
I've
up?
been feeding her ASFs. She's been on solid ASF. They've had 4
they get
meals
nice and
already.
thick on them ASFs.
That's what I've noticed. The 2 females, the one sister, she's only had 2 meals. The other sisters had 4, and it is a night and day difference from 2 meals.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Night and day difference from 2 meals. Now, I don't know if that's just the ASF or
it's the ASS.
Yeah, you
Oh man,
breaking up.
You breaking up. Everybody's. Pipeline, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Can you hear me?
Maybe
Can you
give
hear
it a
me?
second to. No, we missed a good chunk of that, unfortunately.
Oh, I was just talking about the sizes of them.
Oh, okay.
See if I can-
I think we had a couple of bathroom breaks going on right now.
Yeah. But the size
Beautiful babies, beautiful babies.
Oh. I think they asked me. So, how many like rats and ASFs do you guys produce? Do you guys produce more ASF than rats, or more rats than ASF, or kind of as you need?
Well, it's
I would say more rats, but these ASS are crazy the way they reproduce.
mm-hmm.
It's like produce a lot of both. But we started off with doing lots of rats, but the ASF started off so slow. But once they started going,
They
it started going.
I got one colony.
No, I was-
one colony. Was that?
I was just saying I was actually making the wife something quick to eat real quick. That's why I was.
Oh, all right. Oh yeah. Good job.
The one of my colonies, I do usually do like a 1 point. It's either a 1.3 or I do anywhere from a 2.8 in the ASFs.
Oh,
and
it's way bigger than that.
Yeah, it's give and take. I'll plug my charger. It's a give and take. Some colonies do great with that, and some don't. But what I was going to get to was, I had a 3 female colony. They were the biggest litters I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a little grapevine of ASFs.
Yeah.
When I went to clean that tub, I stopped counting at like 140.
Yeah.
Because I'm picking all the babies and I'm putting them in, I put some bedding in it, I put them in a bowl, and I'm like, they're still too small to like throw them in with the parents. So I'm putting them in a bowl, and I'm like, I stopped counting at 140 between 3 females.
I just count litters. Like that's a litter, litters, a bunch of litters. Like
Yeah, it was just out of curiosity. I'm like, how many are freaking here?
Yo, it's the ancestors are. It's hard to count. That's good you'll be able to count because there's so freaking many of them, and they're all buried under each other. They just be like,
and see that's what I was in comparison to them, because I'm like had some to where I'm like, oh, they get 20 or 25 a litter.
It's
ballpark. They range.
I have no idea. And then there's like
I can't have the ASFs. That's
they don't have babies enough. They'll have back-to-back litters, like back-to-back litters.
I mean, I do well on my rats, but like I can't have ASFs.
Are they legal there?
Yeah, I can't have them.
Yeah, you can't have the ASFs there.
Damn.
You know, I haven't experienced it much between the rats and the ASFs, but I know if you get a good feeder that's on the rats, they stay bulky. But so that's what I'm really interested to see is how an individual snake on just ASFs, how they bulk up, how their growth is, and how thick it is in comparison to like Keys. Keys is always saying that they'll bulk up and they'll beef up when they're on them ASFs. And majority of people that do them say they will, but just having that firsthand experience of like, did it really seem like they were heavier
So let
body?
me ask you this. Let's just say you have a ball python for sale, right? And it's only on ASFs. Do you have a hard time transitioning that one to rats?
I've been doing the ones that I have been feeding ASFs to. I did have problem feeders. I've had success with going from mousers to ASFs back to rats. and then some of them they'll flip back and forth. Like I'll do one ASF one week and then a wrap the next.
These are
Gorgeous.
2 head clowns, just 2 head clowns. This one is actually older. This one eats only rats.
Oh, did one just hiss?
I
I think I've heard something.
don't know. And this one eats only ASFs, and she is way bigger. Well, y'all can't see, but this one is all right. Yeah, see how big this one is?
She's thicker.
She eats only ASFs. This one only eats rats. And this is the older one.
You could definitely, I don't know if you guys can see a difference, but we definitely can in the circumference.
Yeah, the main body looks more stout.
But BPL has like 5 more minutes left inside of him. He's actually getting hungry as well because the wife's eating. Now I want food.
Oh, yeah. I'm so nosy. What you make that quick?
She wanted pretzels.
This guy is only about 5 months old, and he only eats ASFs.
Damn.
He's about 800 grams.
Damn. He's 8 months old.
He's fine.
Oh, he's been pairing off a lot. He's gonna have some babies real soon, so I'm pretty sure that my fire yellow belly is gravid and my pastel albino is gravid. He's the father of both of those.
I want mac and cheese, please.
I'm sorry.
You always going like this then this is
ASF, that's it. Boy is big as fuck.
I only
Y'all
got the
just look at it.
ASFs. I only got the ASFs for my problem
you've
eaters.
seen
But
ooh,
Yeah, that's what-
nice. I made some mac and cheese for Thanksgiving. Oh man.
Ooh.
Oh man, oh man. I would make a plate.
yeah.
It's a little bit too late for me to be eating a plate. It's 1:13 a.m. over here, but tomorrow most definitely
Oh yeah.
get that mac and
Jeff-
cheese going.
Pipeline, thank you though for hanging out tonight, dude. I appreciate your time with
Yeah.
us.
appreciate it, Justin.
no problem. Thank you guys for having me
Keys,
on.
both you, much love, much respect. I love having you guys
Anytime,
on.
bro. Anytime.
Every Friday.
Every
Keys will
Friday.
be on the- Yes. So don't miss out. Thank you everyone that showed up tonight. We're out of this motherfucker. Until next time.
Out this biatch.
Out.
Thanks, guys.
Shall we begin?